Hello, and welcome to Tarot and Attachment. My name is Erin Smith, and I am a professional tarot reader and an associate marriage and family therapist in the state of California. So I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I got some really helpful and intuitive feedback from some of you who regularly listen to my readings. And the question was, how does one work with the energy of a card? If a card is kind of continuously presenting itself to you in order to bring attention to or awareness of a pattern that is playing out in your life, and usually one that is difficult or causing some distress, how does one work with that energy? How does one meet that card in a reading without becoming infinitely frustrated? Like, oh, you again. What do I do with you? What do you want me to know? Why do you keep showing yourself to me? And it's a valid question. I mean, over the years, I will consistently meet with people who tell me they don't want to know anything bad. And, I usually remind them that I have no control over what cards get presented in a reading. And what's more, having done this now for 10 plus years, having done thousands of readings for people, I trust that the cards that come through are coming through for a reason. And always, my intention as a reader is always to offer insight or guidance that will be helpful for people. And sometimes that means confronting the darker parts of ourselves and the things that are hard to look at, hard to be with. And this is not a punishment. In essence, this is an invitation to know these parts of ourselves and to meet them with compassion and kindness, and to get curious about them so that we can understand how they're expressing in our daily lives. And in understanding them more deeply and being friendly towards them, then they have an opportunity, first of all, an opportunity to be seen and then reincorporated in ways that may allow us to break free from certain patterns that are painful or difficult. And so, for those of you who don't know me, I wrote my thesis on tarot and attachment theory in my graduate program, becoming a counseling psychologist. What I noticed, I mean, the reason that I even went that route to begin with professionally is that I noticed that there were certain cards that even before I understood the explicit research of attachment theory, I was recognizing that they were coming up and pointing to relational wounds, and often wounds that had been expressing in the family lineage for generations. And one of the cards that I have found that most clearly relates to intergenerational wounding or attachment wounds is the Five of Pentacles. And this is a card that came up in the last reading that I did. I did that on Sunday. And this is a card that people feel really deeply. I mean, you can feel it the second that you see this image. So what I wanted to do today is to take you through a guided meditation that can help you both contact the somatic sensation of this archetype in your own experience, if it's one that resonates with you. It may not. Um, Blessings to you if it does not. Um, But for those of us who feel this card deeply, it is helpful to enter the scene and to feel what it feels like to be in that state, and then to begin to imagine other possibilities than the one that is playing out in this moment in time. And I'm going to take you through it, and I'm going to show you what I mean by this. So if you'd like to follow along and you have your own Rider-Waite deck, I want you to get out the Five of Pentacles. But if not, that's okay too. You can simply be with me as we explore this image. So if you have that card in front of you, I want you to really look into it deeply, and I'm going to take you on a little journey. So I want you to just get comfortable and fully come into a position where you can release all thoughts of the future, of the past, to set aside any narratives in your head about things that you need to do or situations that might be plaguing you with anxiety at this moment. I want you to just come into the present moment. You can notice the busyness of your mind, and that's okay. Just set it aside, let that play like it's the radio in the other room. And I want you to just drop into a state of awareness of the present moment. And you can do this by noticing the sensation of your seat connecting to the chair beneath you. Feel that subtle pressure on your legs. Notice how supported you are in your posture. And I want you to just bring your attention to the natural rise and fall of your breathing. There's nothing you need to do. There's nowhere to go. You're just connecting to what is in this moment. Notice how rhythmic and reliable your breathing is. It's always there for you. And you can just get curious about the quality of sensation in your body as you breathe in and breathe out. And I want you now to even explore the out breath more deeply. So you're going to take in an easy, comfortable breath and then extend the out breath ever so slightly longer than the in breath. And for the next couple of breathing cycles, I want you to make each successive exhale just a little bit longer than the last. Just notice what happens in the body as you begin to slow your breathing down. You may find a greater spaciousness of awareness, a greater openness or receptivity to the present moment. And from this place of greater presence, I want you to take the card in hand, and I want you to really look at what's going on in this scene. Notice where your attention is most drawn. Notice too what sensations are coming up in your body as you see this image. Do you notice a heaviness or a sinking sensation in your stomach? Maybe there's an elevation of heart rate. Maybe there are memories or impressions that come forward as a result of looking at this image. But I want you now to imagine yourself entering this scene and becoming one of these characters. Drop into this moment and see yourself walking through the snow. It's so cold outside, and you have no shoes, no warm jacket to shelter you from the cold. The snow is thick and falling at a steady pace. And even though you are with a companion, there is a deep feeling of loneliness, of being cast out into the world to fend for yourself in a debilitated state. You are crippled. You are cold. You are in exile. By all appearance, there is no one here to help you. And really feel that feeling of loneliness, deprivation, this deep sadness of not knowing why you are not welcomed into the fold of a loving community. Going inward and feeling this deep sadness of not belonging, not being cared for, not having your needs met. Feeling the darkness around you. Feeling the coldness permeating your very being. So notice what this feels like, this feeling of exile, of being cast out. And now I want you to look to the stained glass window in the center of the scene. Notice how bright and inviting it is. Notice the warmth of the light coming through the colored glass. It's right there in the center of the scene, drawing your attention towards it. But you, as the people who are cold and walking through the snow, somehow you have missed it. Somehow it eluded your awareness until just now. I want you to imagine that suddenly you see this light coming through the window. And the light itself has a kind of warmth to it. And I want you now to allow that warmth to reach you, to fall upon your face as you're walking by. And I want you to stop. Stop your passage. Stop in your tracks to turn towards that window. And I want you to face your full attention towards the light coming through that colored glass. And maybe you even reach out or you call out to your companion. Hey, wait. Maybe we missed something. Come be with me and feel the warmth of the light coming through this window. And notice what happens when you come together and you direct your attention towards the stained glass. Notice What sensations are coming up in your body now? Maybe a glimmer of hopefulness. Maybe an ember of curiosity. Maybe there is something outside of this experience of cold and loneliness. Maybe there's a possibility that we could not see until this moment. So you can still feel the cold of the snow underneath your feet, the cold of the wind coming through your threadbare clothes. But now there's an awareness of togetherness between you and your compatriot. You are both turning your attention towards the light in the window. And instead of this shared experience of misery, there is now a shared experience of curiosity. And imagine now that you think to yourself that the possibility comes into your awareness. Why don't we go inside? The lights are on. There must be someone in there. There must be a way in. And let's just check it out. So I want you to imagine that you turn in the other direction and go towards the entrance of this temple, this holy place, whatever this beautiful architectural place that welcomes people, whatever that is for you. You can imagine it in detail now. Something that invokes wonder and beauty. Bring it to mind now. Maybe there are tall archways. Maybe there is a high-beamed ceiling. Maybe there is a really tall, heavy wooden door that is open a crack, beckoning you in. And you see it at the top of these stairs. You see that it is partially open, a sign of welcoming. And I want you to imagine yourself walking up these stairs now with your friend and pushing open the doors and stepping into this wide hall and noticing that there are many windows in a row, just like the one that called you inside. And there is a warmth of chandeliers and candlelight. And I want you to imagine yourself tentatively walking inside, uncertain. Maybe there's that old fear that you will once again be cast out, that you won't be welcomed in. The thing that has kept you all this time from seeing it as a possibility is starting to melt away. And with each step that you take inside the great hall, there is a deepening of confidence that you indeed belong there. That this is a place of sanctuary that is available to you at all times. That you are always welcome in this space. And I want you to imagine yourself sitting down on a soft cushion, side by side, with your friend and compatriot. Suddenly you stop shivering There is a warmth inside that hall, that it's coming into your body, helping you to relax, to soak into this sensation of safety and belonging that is so available to you in this moment. Really occupy this space of comfort and soothing. Notice what it feels like to be in a place where you are welcomed, where you are warm, that invites you in to be a part of this experience of coming home, of getting your needs met. And I want you to imagine that anytime you need to, anytime this feeling of loneliness and destitution comes to call, that you know now that you can turn your attention towards the temple, and that you can enter into that space of warmth and belonging. And now I want you to let the scene fade. And I want you to begin to come back into the present moment. And I want you to just notice now if your feeling or your relationship to the Five of Pentacles has changed. What do you see now when you look at this image? This is how we create new possibilities. We get to know the difficulty of the expression of this archetype, but we come into a new relationship with it when we allow our imagination to reform the scene, to be more resourced in ourselves when we are confronting those parts of ourselves that are difficult, that have developed over time in relation to experiences that we've had in the world. And again, remember, I am associating this with early childhood wounding. So this may be an experience of the world that you've been living with for a really long time. And so I'm going to invite you, whenever that feeling comes up, to imagine this scene. Imagine yourself turning around, going up the stairs, walking through the door, and sitting in this great hall of love and acceptance. So I hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed this meditation, I will continue to do this with some of the other cards. I am wishing you many blessings. We are going to have a new moon partial solar eclipse this weekend, and I know that many of you are feeling the intensity of this energy. So may you be supported in this time. Many blessings.